All right. Let's start the show. And what it is, what it do, how we doing, how are you? How's it going? It's another episode of the Puro Caballero Show coming to you live and direct on Twitch right now. Give me a follow at Puro Caballero if you're following this on YouTube. If you're listening via audio, as I'll probably upload this tomorrow. It is April 11th. It has been a few weeks, maybe a month. No, it's been a month. It's been over a month since I last checked in with you. How are you doing? How's it going? Hope you've been well. I'm doing good. And yeah, we off and running. This is episode number 106, and I've been kind of lazy and busy. Normal shit. Uh, yeah, I had a lot of opportunities to do this podcast, but for some reason or another, I keep putting it off. So I'm not going to do that any longer. We're getting right down to it. Um, what the fuck is up? What's new? Um, should we talk about it? Should we get right into it? Should we get into the slap heard around the world? Uh, let's see. I got the fucking track. Let me pull this up. All right, added. Should we talk about it? Should we talk about it? Goodness gracious. What the fuck was going on at the fucking Emmys, Oscars, Grammys? I don't even know what the fuck it was. There have been a lot of award shows that I really don't care about that have been happening. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the slap heard around the world. What's going on? What's going on? How we doing? How we doing? Hope you're having a good night. Um, yeah. What the fuck was Will Smith doing? Holy shit. Uh Assaulted a man on live television, and that shit did not look real to me the first time I saw that shit. That shit was pretty wild. Over an innocuous ass joke. I've talked about it a lot in my personal life, but I gotta put this shit on wax. Like, that shit was fucking ridiculous. To act out in that manner. Um, Listen, I understand emotions getting the best of you, but there's a million other ways that you could possibly do that shit. So like, part of me is just like, what the fuck? Like, there's there's so many other ways you can handle that shit. If you're really upset with the man, go talk to him backstage and handle it that way. Also, it's a fucking he's a comedian who got hired to go perform and do little jokey jokes, and that's like not even like a harsh joke. Like, the comics that have been coming out and trying to like roast Will Smith have been like ferocious. There have been some nasty, mean roast jokes that have been happening. I don't know if y'all been tuning in and paying attention, but holy shit! I know Tom Segura went in. I know. Oh my god, Andrew Schultz went in on his podcast. He did a 3-minute intro of just like flaming Jada and fucking Will and the whole family. That shit was pretty wild. Yeah, that shit. It felt like a PR stunt. It did feel like that shit was just like drawn up and just like, how can we get people more excited about this shit? But yeah, it was just like there's levels to how crazy and wild that shit was. But the worst thing is, if you want to keep your wife's name out of the public eye and having people not stop talking about her, the worst thing you could do is slap a comic, because now every single fucking comic on the planet has a joke, or has at least thought of a joke, or has just decided everybody else is gonna talk about it. Like, there's everybody, dude, and then Chris Rock himself is gonna probably have a good section of material on that shit coming up at some point. I know he's been selling out all his shows since this happened, so yeah, that dude's already got deep enough pockets, but like, goddamn, that dude, the tickets were like $300 for his last show or something like that. It's wild. I know he wasn't addressing it, talking about it on stage yet, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see what the hell happens there. But man, this fool went full Hancock on his ass, man. That shit was out of left field. Yeah. Shout out to Tony Rock though. Tony V. Tony V. Trying to flame him, coming at Will Smith. Oh man, had some stupid jokes about the situation. What I say? People are trying to explain the reason why Will acted out in such a manner. Some people say he's a part of Scientology. Other people say he's might be a closeted gay man. And to me, I say, what's the difference in Hollywood? I mean, hey, look at the list. There's quite a few there. I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. But damn, that shit was wild. Everybody talking about Oscar's so white for so long. Now they saying Oscar too black. I'm like, come on, come on, come on. It's too much. It's too much. I had a joke. I was just like, man, what if Oscar was too brown? What the fuck? I got a mariachi band playing you on. They got a taquero on the side, cooking tacos and shit. I don't know. Stupid. I'm an idiot. Got a couple laughs. I told stupid jokes at the last show that I did. Shout out to Steph Turan. Put on the good show at the Pasadena Comedy this last Saturday. Thank you everybody who attended. Met some people who were big fans of the show. Got a few drinks afterwards. That was fun. Had a good time out there in Pasadena last Saturday. But yeah, what I got on the horizon since I'm talking about dates? I got a show next Wednesday. Ooh, yes, yeah. So if you're listening to this, I'm probably gonna upload this at some point tomorrow to the audio. It is now April 11th right now. On April 13th, I'm on a show at the Pack Theater. Shout out to Jerry Hernandez for having me on that. It's a storytelling show. It is, what's the name of it? It's like Drugs, Hugs, or Thugs, I think is the name of it. Crazy. Hold on, I got it in here somewhere. Drugs, Hugs, and Thugs. Yep, that's the name of the show. Storyteller show. So come on out. Shows it's a late one. It's at 10 p.m. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun ass time. Myself, Ernesto Ledesma, and one other comic. I tagged him today. Uh, it is Brent Taylor. Shout out to Brent, who I will be meeting at the show. So yeah, shout out to Jerry as well. Jerry Hernandez, very hilarious. Book him if you got spots available. If you're a producer booking shows, very funny homie of mine. But yeah, that is my next show. That'll be on Wednesday the 13th. Shows at 10 p.m. Link is in my bio. I've posted the link on my Instagram. Go there at Puro Caballero, same as you see down here below. So yeah, definitely do that. Besides that, I have another show in Long Beach coming up on April the 21st. So come on out for that. I'll be posting the link at some point later. Don't have the Eventbrite quite yet, but we'll get that on and popping. And besides that, I got a show on the 29th as well. Come on out to that at the Hollywood Comedy. That show is at 7 p.m. I will be posting more info as we get closer to that date. But yeah, besides that, what else I got on my calendar? Oh yeah, my birthday coming up. Taurus gang, what's happening? Let's go, baby. So yeah, birthday's on the 24th. I think I'm gonna try to throw a little get together. Maybe on the 30th, maybe the 7th. I gotta figure it out. But yeah. Oh, I finally get to see Freddie Gibbs in concert. That shit's gonna be fun. That will be a week from today. Week from tonight. Next Monday. Definitely not gonna miss that shit. Yeah, I have to say we will be having our Ty Angel show on hiatus. We'll be taking a week off. And we'll be coming back on May 3rd. So yeah. Our last show, super fun show. Last Tuesday. Yeah, come on out though. Very hilarious comics. Who else do we have? Who do we have? Look at my damn lineup. Mike Kim, Elliot Mack, Beat Gutierrez, Paul Valdez Rodriguez in town from New York City, and Mikey McKernan close out the show. The one, the only. Um, Shout out to the homie VJ, aka DJ Supreme Kai, holding it down, helping me co-produce that show as well. And I think we're like on 8 months now, being at that venue. 9 months. So yeah. Shout out to Ty Angel Bar. Shout out to everybody. Give us a follow at Out of Breath Productions. We post all the Instagram, all the flyers up on that Instagram. My apologies. It's been a long day for me. It's been a long Monday. It's been a long week. Let me see. Whatchamacallit. Yeah. What were we talking about? We were talking about the Chris Rock shit. That was some bullshit. Yeah. People thinking they can stop comic set. That shit is not fucking cool. All these fucking it wasn't the first incident that this shit has happened where like comics have gotten into it with people they've intact like people with the crowd and shit like that. Like I don't know. People just don't know how to act. If they're upset with it, they don't know the proper way to like not derail a whole damn show. Because yeah, that shit is wild. You saw for like a split second that Chris Rock really wanted to roast him and decided not to. He was just like, "It's not my show. It's not my place. Like, can't do that. Gotta be professional." So I think out of anything, he probably handled it like the classiest. But like, you gotta like try to move a little bit though. Uh-oh. Like, as soon as he gets up close, oh bam. Oh shit. Crazy. But yes, comedy game is pretty wild right now. So like that whole scenario, shenanigans happen. And then T.I., I don't know if y'all seen what T.I.'s been doing. So yeah, sad to see that somebody's using their celebrity to like abuse kind of the unwritten rules of like doing stand up on a show, especially one that it's like not your show, it's one that you're like kind of jumping in on. So uh yeah, Ti got into a couple incidents recently. One of them I think was at the Comedy Store, and another one was at like an open mic out in Atlanta. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. He's been popping in and out for like the last month or so at some different comedy venues, like trying to do stand up. Which it's like, all right, if you want to give it a try, go for it. Like whatever. Like I don't begrudge people for trying to get into it, but if you're gonna do it, like try to be respectful and like know the rules, or like if you don't know what's going on, like don't be an ass about it and just like all right, just learn from it. Shit, crazy. So like at one point he was supposed to do like a 5 minute like drop in set on I think in the Comedy Store, somewhere in LA, I remember, and they had a comic who had to like go get him because he went 20 minutes over his set. So yeah, like that's crazy. Like you fucking up the rest of the lineup, and you're screwing over all the other comics, and yeah, you hogging up all the stage time. When I mean, if that's what you're booked to do, then by all means go do it. But like that's not what he was asked to do at that point. There's like going over by a little bit, and then there's just like really just saying like a fuck you to like everybody and just hogging the mic. So apparently that's what happened. So a comic had to like come out behind him, like there was a curtain behind him, went between the curtains, got his attention, told him, "Hey man, you see how that there's a light back there? That means you got to wrap it up. When it's flashing, you got to get the hell out of here. It's been flashing for the last 20 minutes." And so Ti just like completely ignored him, was completely an ass about it, and just was just like, man, said some bullshit like, man, like, fuck your light, man. I'm a star. This is the only light you motherfuckers need, or some shit like that. He said some bullshit like that. I was just like, what the fuck, like, man, this fool, god damn, this shit is wild. Like that's sad to see. That sucks. And then the other video that I saw, I think I saw Ernesto post this shit on Facebook. That shit was crazy. That shit was fucking wild. It was him at an open mic. The video starts apparently. after he had gotten off his set, and like the host of this mic apparently had gotten into it with him before. So she goes up and she starts like trying to talking her shit, trying to like roast him or whatever. And he's like not having it in the crowd, yelling and interrupting and heckling back. Granted, after the time that he had apparently been allotted to go do a set. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there. But the video starts and he's getting into it in the crowd with this comic, this female comic. And she's on stage and she's still talking her shit. He comes up on stage and is like trying to talk to her, comes up to her, like gives her like an embrace, like he's giving her a hug. Eventually, like gives her a hug for about like 2 or 3 seconds, and then comes up and snatches the mic away from her, and then goes up and proceeds to keep talking shit. I was like, what the fuck? Like that's just wild. So T.I.'s up here snatching mics from women on stage. Like what the fuck? Like I feel like that was pretty unnecessary. I don't know. I wasn't there at the time, so I can't 100% say what was preceded that or whatnot. But yeah, that video in itself looked pretty crazy. So like, I will say that I don't know 100% of that context, but like, come on, Ti, like you fucking, that's like a couple strikes against you, man. And I've already heard like I had some heard some people who've been running shows around L.A. and Hollywood that have had him on it and shit like that, and they're just like, yeah, man, this guy basically flies his jet to go do an open mic, wherever the fuck uh his friends are in the comedy game and shit. Because yeah, apparently he's been like dropping in on a lot of different shows, but hasn't been, I guess, announced on any lineup per se. So like, I don't know. I don't know. The homies who do know him, like the people in the comedy game, like they're his homies. Like they gotta like put him on game and let him know, like, hey, bro, like what the fuck you doing, man? So it's comics. We gotta stand up for our art, man. Like we gotta fucking do this shit correctly, man. I don't know. I don't know. That shit was pretty crazy. Um, yeah. Wild shit, wild shit. Maybe he was I don't know. Feeling himself. He just goes up and apparently was just telling stories. Just wild party stories. How he's balling out and shit. And Giants lost. Um yeah. Comedy's game's crazy. Comedy game is crazy. It be wild sometimes, man. Never know what's gonna happen. What else is going on? Fucking war with Ukraine and Russia. Do we talk about it? Do I need to talk about it? Have I read anything recently? Not much. No. Um, couple headlines. I was reading that all the international and American brands are just like pulled out of Russia, so that a lot of the middle to like upper class people are like were buying everything and sweeping everything up because they know that they're not gonna have access to that shit as easily for years to come, possibly decades to come. That's how shit was in the Soviet Union when they had a bunch of trade embargoes and shit amongst most of the other nations in the world. I guess what was it, the Allied forces? I guess I don't what the fuck. I don't know. I don't know. What am I doing? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? But yeah, apparently a lot of people are not having. There's like info. Everything's Kremlin controlled. Yeah, a lot of trade embargoes going on right now. A lot of sanctions, I should say, not trade embargo. What the fuck? It's late and I'm high and I'm tired and we're doing this. We're fucking doing it. It's live. Um, yeah, so a lot of sanctions going on. So apparently they had $640 billion in their war chest, but they can't access half of it. So like, oh shit, that's that'll change your plans quickly. I know that there was a lot of interest in like all the oligarchs Roman Abramovich, the former owner of Chelsea, I guess, current owner of Chelsea, still in the process of selling the team. He's was apparently poisoned a few weeks ago. That shit was wild. There was another peace negotiator with Ukraine that was also poisoned apparently. So I don't know. I don't know who. Where would the motivation be? Like from the heads of Russia? Would they want to get them out of there? Probably. They know too much. That would be the logic, or at least that's about the oligarchs. Like if you're gonna take out an oligarch, because like it's only if like they have something against you and could hurt you strategically in some way. It's like they've kind of empowered these people. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I don't. Do I know what's going on? No. Am I just fucking yapping? You definitely believe it. Let's see what else going on. Shout out to Ketanya Brown Jackson, first black woman ever to be elected to the Supreme Court. That just happened recently. Um, let's see. Oh, Jussie Smollett. That whole situation. He got sentenced to 150 days in jail for staging that hate crime. That shit was fucking wild. Still to this day, he's remaining adamant that he didn't stage it. But like, come on, bro. Come on. What are you doing, man? Are you trying not to work ever again? Like, oh man. Uh you walked into the police station with the noose still around you. Why? Like you were playing the part, bro. Like, come on. Come on, Juicy. Come on, man. Wait, crazy shit, crazy shit. Let's see here. Amanda Bynes, her conservatorship was terminated after 8 years. Apparently, her parents also agreed to the court ruling. Finances are still held in a trust. The reason she was on the conservatorship to begin with is because she had a string of DUIs. She started a fire in Thousand Oaks, and she was using hard drugs, apparently. She also spent $1.2 million over a few month period. I think this was back in 2013, 2012, somewhere around then. And now she's apparently currently 14 months sober, 15 months sober now. So good for you, Amanda Bynes. Congratulations. I thought it was funny that her conservatorship got way less publicity than Britney Spears's. So that just goes to show you gotta pump out them hits before people give a shit about your personal well being. So apparently Amanda Bynes didn't have enough classics on the Nickelodeon network. So I don't know. I was a fan. But that just goes to show you, man, this like entertainment business does like trip people out, and like the hit rate on young stars who end up having problems down the line in their daily lives is pretty high, I would say. That's a pretty high shooting percentage. Like, it's a nice batting average. You might make the Hall of Fame there. Um, yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty wild. Let's bring in the dancing lobsters. Um, that show was pretty dope. I remember that shit. Um, mean to please. So yeah, shout out to her. No conservatorship. What else going on? Kanye been acting like Kanye, doing his Kanye shit. He was banned from Instagram for attacking Trevor Noah. His performance at the Grammys was canceled. He backed out of Coachella, which is happening this weekend and next weekend, which it's like, holy shit. Apparently, he lost, I think, $4 million that he was due to earn for performing there. So yeah. Of course, he's not light on money at the moment. I think he's doing okay in his pocketbook. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's a pretty big headlining gig that he's stepped away from last minute too. So the replacement is apparently The Weeknd and Swedish House Mafia. So they're gonna take his spot at the main stage, closing it out. So yeah, see how that goes. Not gonna go this year, but yeah, hope everybody has a good time. So next year, maybe. I don't know. Ever again? I don't know. Should I try some other shit? Probably. Yeah. Tell me what to do. Just go to South by Southwest, do some Bonnaroo shit. What? Lala. Hit up Lala, hit the Midwest. Um do Ultra at some point. Never been to EDC. There's a lot of them out there I haven't been to. There's a lot of shit. But yeah, Kanye be doing his Kanye shit. But speaking of Kanye, we all know who he's currently in a feud with. His arch nemesis, Pete Davidson. He was supposed to go to outer space a couple weeks ago on one of those Blue Origin flights, but apparently the flight got rescheduled and he couldn't make it. So he's yeah, just another being here on Earth with the rest of us. So people are saying he's like really trying to find a way to get away from Kanye. Oh man. That shit was wild. He was fucking texting. Yay. While in bed with his wife or his ex-wife. That's just crazy. Put that as a win for the comics. I don't know. We'll claim him. We'll claim it. Fuck it. Fuck it, bro. He's a pothead. Why not? Say whatever about his comedy. He's got some funny shit. I don't mind him. Some people really don't like him though. It's just I don't know if anybody I know that it's like a super fan of his, but there's some people who are like whatever. Like I guess myself, and then there's people who just like really don't like him. So I'm like, all right, let him do him. Let him do his thing, man. What else happening? Let's see. Talk about sports, man. Like fucking fill the rest of this goddamn podcast. Half an hour into this shit. Um, I don't know what else fucking we want to say. What do you want to hear from me? UFC 273 just happened. That shit was pretty crazy. Was not able to watch most of it due to the fact that I was performing on Saturday night, but we watched a little bit of the replay. Shout out to the homie David Chow who was in town visiting, and we put it on. And yeah, those fights were pretty wild. The Hamzat Chimaev Gilbert Burns fight was pretty fucking wild considering how back and forth it was getting. Um, yeah, Hamzat is human. He's human, but still very impressive performance nonetheless for him to be able to get through that second round because Burns was putting it on him, so he really had to dig deep to win the third. So congratulations to him. He'll be moving up in the rankings. I think he was ranked 11th. Burns was ranked number 2. So I don't know if he'll get all the way up to that high, but he'll more than likely be top 5 at this point. He's gonna jump up the rankings. He's been flying up there. Um, so yeah, he's a scary dude that nobody really wants to face right now. So we'll see. We'll see what who he ends up getting matched up with next. And trying to get to that belt quick, man. They've just been throwing him at the some dogs, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Other fights that happen. Alexander Volkanovsky getting the victory against the Korean Zombie. Um, was this Chung? Chung. Uh, fuck, man. That was a pretty dominant performance. He was very efficient with the striking. He was doing an amazing job with his boxing and his kickboxing. And it seemed like he was more active and more aggressive in the fight and was putting it on Korean Zombie, man. Like he did a hell of a job. That was one of the title fights. So he's now defended the belt what 4 times, 3 times? think he has like the record now at like 145. So apparently he's been uh I don't know. Or what was I gonna say? No, I'm fucking up. I'm thinking of the other fight. The Aljamain Sterling Piotr Yan fight. That's the one that I was thinking of. So yeah, Aljamain Sterling I think is calling out Henry Cejudo now, trying to get him to come out of retirement. So Cejudo apparently submitted himself back into the USADA testing pool. So now he might come back. So that might be an exciting wrinkle. Apparently he wants to get another belt at 145. So kudos to him. We'll see if he could do it. He's trying to be former champ at 125, 135, and 145. That would be pretty crazy. I know he said he wanted to do it. Wait, is it? No, Sterling, I think, is 135. Excuse me. 145 is Volkanovsky. So I think Cejudo wants to fight him. I'm fucking up. Wait, I got it right here. I got the story right here. Bring it right up. Yeah, so he's re-entered the pool. Hmm. Oh, I guess we don't know. I guess he might fight both. I know Sterling called him out afterwards. Oh, maybe he wants to win 135 and then move up. I think that's what his manager looks like. That's what he mentioned. Jesus. Oh my goodness. Whew. Oh, I know Sterling was talking shit to TJ Dillashaw. God damn. What is going on? This is is amazing. Amazing podcast going on right here. So yeah, UFC action. I need to fucking drink some of this water. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. It's the show. Is it a good one? I don't know. It's fucking up to you. God damn it. What else happening? Jake Paul continued to talk shit. Logan Paul showed up to WrestleMania. Apparently, he had a really good performance. I saw a couple clips. That Jake Paul have been talking shit to Dana White in the UFC. They've been going back and forth. A couple weeks ago, he says he's open to signing a one-fight UFC deal to face someone like McGregor or Masvidal, which Dana White says is never going to happen because those dudes are like way too big, or he's way too big for both of them. I think Paul goes around like 185, 190. So like, yeah, that's like at least 20 to 30 pounds on McGregor, and then Masvidal about 20ish. But like Masvidal gets it big too though, so might not be the worst matchup for him. But he says if he wins, he wants Dana to increase the fighter pay to 50% of the revenue, which is up from around 18 to 20% where they're at now, and agree to provide full health care. But if he loses, he would donate his purse to fighters making less than 50K per fight and never mention the UFC again. Said that he wants McGregor or Masvidal wants to be paid like CM Punk or Brock Lesnar were. Dana says he's too big to fight McGregor, et cetera, et cetera. CM Punk got $1 million to come into the UFC and fight. Brock Lesnar got 2.5. Now, the first one I'd say was complete sideshow. Like, what the fuck was going on? They tried to give him the easiest task, and he just did not look good in the octagon. That was a pretty pitiful performance to the point where he was fighting like some photographer who was just like a fighter on the side who was fucking around with him during the fight. He couldn't beat that guy. Like, come on, come on. But Brock Lesnar, the Brock Lesnar era was pretty dope in the UFC. I'm not gonna lie. Like seeing that dude that huge, just like manhandle people and wrestle with. Oh my god, because like he was a legit. He had legit wrestling skills, D1 wrestling skills, heavyweight. champion. Wrestling skills. So that shit was fucking wild. That dude was ginormous. Dude was a cheat code, man. Used to fight with him in like the UFC video game. You're like, what the fuck? Like, holy shit. But yeah, anyway, Jake Paul wants that kind of money. So we'll see what happens. UFC's notoriously been like pretty stingy with the pocketbooks in terms of purses for main events or for certain fighters. Once they become champion, then they start like trying to renegotiate shit, but they're not willing to make superstars in the same cut of like Conor McGregor. Now, granted, I feel like he was very much lightning in a bottle considering everything that happened and how he came up and his like aura and legacy before all the like shit show of his personal life started to creep in and some of his downfalls in the ring in the octagon too. So yeah, I mean, you caught him like a little bit lightning in the bottle there, but anyway, they've been stingy. They don't want to pay people. But it did come out recently that they are going to be having a little bit of an increase for fighters. There's a little bit more of an incentive now. Now there's going to be apparently a fan vote to decide which fighter wins Bitcoin. They're going to have bonuses via Bitcoin. And that's coming via crypto.com, which is their official cryptocurrency sponsor. So once again, it's probably not coming out of their pocket more than likely. But yeah, it's based on a fan vote. They will have prizes of 30,000, 20,000, and 10,000 for 3 fighters each pay-per-view event. So, is that a lot of money in general? Yeah. Is that probably not a lot of money for the UFC to fork over per pay-per-view? I'd say so. I don't know. Like, considering the amount of bank that some other fighters and other sports get, and then just professional athletes in general, and the amount of revenue that the UFC's turning in right now, it's like, ooh boy. I understand like fighters deserve some increase, man, especially because they haven't upped the pay in a while, in a long time. So so yeah. I have a feeling that yeah, crypto.com is like fronting a lot of this money because for them it's probably pennies to get their name out there and to be doing business for the UFC. Crypto.com has been like blowing up for their sponsorship dollars recently. I mean, they bought out Staples Center, ex Staples Center, so they like it's the crypto.com arena, which they don't even have a fucking permanent sign on the building right now. It's just like a little ass sign on like the entrances. So, it's nondescript downtown Los Angeles arena that houses the Lakers and Clippers and Kings. That's what it is right now. Like fucking crypto.com. Well, Lakers no more because they're out of the playoffs. But maybe the Clippers. Who knows? Who knows? I think they made the play-in game. Did they make the play-in game? I gotta check. I gotta fucking check. Let me see. What other UFC news? You want to Jake Chick's finally coming back. She's rematching with Zhang Wei Li at UFC 275. That'll be fucking dope. I think that's coming up in a couple months. So man, the last time those two girls fought was fucking epic. Yo, that was like one of the most epic UFC fights, regardless of gender, like I've ever seen. That shit was insane, intense. They were going at it the whole 5 rounds. That shit was wild. So yeah, they're gonna have a rematch. They're gonna run it back. That is something to look out for sure, for sure. Um. So yeah, we're talking about one fighter returning. Now we're gonna talk about one fighter leaving. So unfortunately, bad news for Greg Hardy. UFC has released him from his contract. He's on the heels of a losing streak. I think he lost 3 in a row, 2 in a row, something like that. And the guy who had a checkered past to begin with. So yeah, we'll see if Greg Hardy decides to keep continuing on with his MMA career, or if he decides to try to do some other athletic endeavors. I'm not sure. At this point, can you change over again? I don't know. I don't know. Or should he just retire, move on, try to do something else at that point? I don't know how much he made in MMA, but he was a big big name considering he was a former All-Pro defensive end in the NFL. Got into some legal trouble for doing some wild shit. So I'll let you guys do some googling. But yeah, man acted kind of wild back in the day. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens there. Um, so that's one fighter leaving. Let's talk about another fighter possibly trying to leave. Nate Diaz was saying that he was trying to get onto the Bellator card that was happening on April 23rd in Hawaii alongside Yancy Medeiros. He was talking crap to the UFC, saying like, "Hey man, like hurry up and give me a fight. So, I want to fight on this one. Let me go. Go ahead and release me." But Dana White's not gonna do that shit. Not at all. So Nate's got one more fight on his contract, and I think Dana's kind of posturing to kind of get Nate to kind of agree to a deal that is gonna be under fair value, which is what he's done before. So by not scheduling a fight for him in the interim, he's like pushing that date back for how much control he has over where the next fight takes place. So there is not going to be a chance in hell that Nate fights on that card in Bellator. But that would have been dope. So we'll see. We'll see where he goes for his career, because I think that last fight probably will happen at some point. It might take some time. I know he's trying to talk about fighting Poirier, or I don't even know who else. I know Poirier said he was down too, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I wish all the best for Nate, man. That dude had earned the UFC a lot of money and earned himself some pretty paychecks too. But like, he deserves to get paid too, man. I want to see that dude get his money. Get his money, man. The hometown hero, man. Shout out to 209 Stockton. What's up? What's up? What's up? Speaking of hometown heroes, Kevin Holland, man. This dude's a fucking ridiculous G out in Houston, man. So apparently he took down a gunman at a raw sushi. Wow, spelled sushi horribly. Out in Houston. This was the second time he's helped apprehend a suspect in the last 6 months. So this dude's out here being like fucking Batman or some shit, man, just taking out people. A shooter though, there was a gunman in a restaurant, man. That takes some balls to go run at a gunman. That is fucking crazy. So yeah, I guess right person, right time. I don't right person at the wrong time for the fuck shooting up a sushi spot. Goddamn. Yeah, a lot of crazy action outside the cage. I don't know if y'all saw what happened with Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington, but the bad blood did not end inside the octagon with these two. Masvidal now faces 2 charges after he allegedly had an altercation at a Miami Beach restaurant on March the 23rd. He allegedly punched him in the face and caused a fractured tooth and a wrist abrasion to Colby, which in the grand scheme of things probably isn't that bad, but he probably beat his ass pretty. I don't know. Apparently he had they jumped him. Was there footage of it? I think there's footage that came out. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't. We ain't got time. We're moving on. Oh yeah, Conor McGregor also got arrested. He was charged with dangerous driving in Ireland on the day prior, March 22nd. Man, that was a crazy ass fucking weekend. He was later released on bail, but could face a maximum punishment of 5.5 thousand and or 6 months. And he now faces 6 charges related to the driving arrest. So, Conor, man, getting into that legal trouble. What the fuck? Keep it together, bro. Made all that buku bucks selling that proper 12, though, man. I'll give a props there, man. Wow. Yeah, I think the UFC doesn't want to like give opportunities to their fighters to to blow up like that, man. It's fucking crazy. But I think Dana wants all the money. I don't know. I think he wants all the money. But get it. I get it. Because there's a lot that goes into it. I get it. Let's see here. Yeah, McGregor was one of the few dudes who was able to cross over and get that boxing money though. They don't want to let anybody else do that shit. And there've been talks of other fighters trying to get some matchups going. I know they said that Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, that was like kind of a dream matchup. And Bob Arum came out and said that he wanted to book that fight and that he was willing to work with Dana White. How much is that just him talking to the media and just, putting some stuff out there that's just like not likely to happen? Because I don't think Dana will be willing to do it that way with Francis. There's been talks about Canelo Alvarez and Kamaru Usman, and I just don't think Usman's got that um, straight boxing acumen, that like crazy technique that you need to be able to hang with a guy like Canelo. But who the fuck knows? Like, I don't want to hate on him. I don't want to hate on Francis because that would be crazy if he clipped Tyson Fury one time, just one time, man. Because Tyson, man, his legacy's crazy, man. Just one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, man. So yeah, I want to see those guys get paid. So why the fuck not? And I think those would be more exciting matchups than McGregor Mayweather, honestly, like than that was, because I don't know, kind of knew what was gonna happen. At least these fighters are a little bit more action fighters, willing to try to go out and knock somebody out. Got more pop. Floyd was like the crazy technical, crazy speed, crazy defensive acumen, but like that later in his career, he was not opening up and being aggressive and whatnot, which makes for an entertaining fight, but doesn't always make for the smartest decision. So I get it. I get it. I get it. Get it. But who knows? Who knows? I know Eddie Hearn was talking about that, the Canelo Usman fight. So yeah, now these boxing promoters are trying to get in on this action. Who knows? Who knows? I think they're seeing that it's just like, just fight these other boxers, but like we get some crossover stars to come over, then we can really start selling some tickets. So, but more often than not, I think we know what the result is going to be. Like the professional boxer is doing professional boxing. So the person who's the MMA fighter, they got to know a little bit of everything. So when when they box in a professional setting, they're at a disadvantage because they just don't have the amount of reps and the amount of hours that these other guys might have. Now, could they be just as talented, just as skilled, or just as powerful? Yeah, definitely. But sometimes when you're at that elite champion level, you know, to have the spatial awareness and the ability to read punches and just set up counters and a lot of different things. There's like you have the proper footwork, technique, a lot that goes into it. And so what we saw with McGregor, what the good thing that Mayweather did is he announced the fight and they made it like 2 months after they announced it. So they didn't make it. They didn't give him enough time to like really, like 6 months. Like if he had 6 month training camp, he might have had a better shot. But it's also like the best guy ever, and he would have also gotten more time to train. So like, who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? It's wild shit. It's crazy. What else is happening? Um, oh yeah. So this war in Ukraine and Russia, it's affecting the world of MMA and in boxing. So it's affecting the world of mixed martial arts. I guess I don't know. Yaroslav Amosov, he was supposed to fight at Bellator 281, but he is withdrawn because he is still defending his home soil of Ukraine. There will be an interim title bout set in his absence because he was the current light heavyweight champion, I believe. Vasily Lomachenko, he was supposed to schedule a fight with George Kambosos in Australia. It was supposed to happen around June 5th. Um, Eventually decided he was going to stay in Ukraine, and Kambosos is going to pursue a fight with Devin Haney now. So they're going to have a unification fight at that weight class was that 130? So yeah, Cambosos was the 135. George Cambosos was the guy who got uh what's his name? Lopez. Goodness gracious. Why can't I think? Anyway, this is killing me. Who did he fight last? Riveting stuff, guys. Riveting stuff. Oh, Teofimo. Teofimo Lopez. I fucking never remember. Teo Lopez. I'm high. I'm high. So yeah, that's going down. I think eventually Lomachenko will get back at it if God willing he survives this war, man. That's fucking wild shit I've been hearing that's going on out there. Let's see. Yeah, they were given permission to leave, Vasily Lomachenko and Alexander Usyk. Because Usyk was supposed to have a fight against Anthony Joshua in the UK, which is going to be the rematch, and that's on pause right now. So yeah, what else going on? Floyd Mayweather Jr. is coming back. He's supposed to have an exhibition fight in Abu Dhabi on May 14th on a helipad versus some scrub named Don Moore, I guess. I don't. I hate to say scrub, but like his record's not the most impressive. I'll just say that. Um, there's also going to be Anderson Silva versus Bruno Machado on that card, and Badu Jack is supposed to fight somebody. They haven't said who, but somebody. Let's see here. Artur Berdabeev versus Joe Smith Jr. That's going to be June 18th in New York for the light heavyweight unification bout at 175. Couple boxing matches happened this last weekend. I know Triple G got a victory over Ryota Murata in the 9th round. He has now claimed the WBA 160-pound belt. He already had the IBF and the IBOs, and that has now set up a potential fight with Canelo Alvarez. So apparently that's going to now be the third fight between them. So they had a tentative agreement that if they both got through their next opponents, they would face each other. So now it is Canelo's turn to hold up his end of the bargain. On May 7th, he'll be fighting Dimitri Bivol, though. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully he gets through Bivol and then can face off with Triple G for a third time. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. Like, Triple G is like on the older end, so Canelo, I think, did a smart job of in the first one waiting till he got a little bit later in his prime, I should say. So where is he at now? He's looked all right. Against he did take some shots though against was this Murata. If he takes those same kind of shots against Canelo, he's gonna suffer some damage. Murata looked like he was in that fight for the first 5 rounds, but Triple G was just putting it on him, and then the last few rounds that he was out there, he was just not hanging around, and he was taking some damage. And Triple G was landing some hard shots on him pretty consistently. It got to the point where like he barely got into through the 8th, and you could tell like his corner was like giving him instructions of like a very short leash. Like if I'm not seeing enough from you, if you take some more damage, it's gonna be it. And that's pretty much what happened. They got it to the 9th round. It got all the way to the very end of the 9th round, the last minute of the round, and he was doing a good job of pressuring Triple G. He actually was trying to get on the offensive and just like pretty much gas out and put it all out there. And Triple G got through that barrage and then caught him with a 1-2. And it was just so brutal. But he was super tough. And eventually he fell. And then at that point, that was the first knockdown of the fight. But his corner had seen enough. And they threw in the towel. So yeah, the highlights were pretty dope. That fight. I watched that shit this weekend. That was cool. Yeah, Ryan Garcia also got a victory this weekend, which was uh, see here. Ba-ba-ba-ba, I don't know. Emmanuel Tago. Yeah, Ryan Garcia got a bunch of tattoos. I don't know. A lot of people are kind of flaming him. I don't know who he should fight next, man. He's just supposed to be the next guy. I don't know. Um, Tago didn't back down. I mean, he was super defensive. Didn't throw a lot. Didn't give a lot of opportunities for Ryan Garcia to like try to showcase his power, which that's like kind of his biggest knock on him is he doesn't have like a super strong punchy power, and that he kind of just beats you via volume and quickness. So it's kind of what happened. He used his quickness to land a lot of jabs, but that Tago guy, he was pretty tough, but like wouldn't go down. So what are you gonna do, man? But Garcia got the victory via decision. It was pretty evident who won that one. Uh, where we going? Where we going? Man, we got a lot of shit. We're just gonna just like fly through some of these real quick. So yeah, that's the world of fight. That's the fight world. God damn it! I gotta stop doing these podcasts on little sleep. See, this is the reason why I haven't been doing this shit. All right, just been popping up in my world. Anyway, keep it moving. Apparently, this F1 race that happened in Saudi Arabia. There was a nearby attack on a oil depot about 7 miles from the racetrack, and they decided to just say fuck it and keep racing. That's fucking crazy. Fucking wild. Let's see what else is gonna happen. Top ranked Ashley Barty announces that retirement after the Australian Open win. She's only 25 years old. She won the French Open in 2019 and Wimbledon in 2021. So congratulations to Ashley on a terrific career. If she ever comes back, then I'm pretty sure the tennis world will accept her. But to retire at 25 and to have accomplished everything you've ever wanted, then it's pretty nice, right? If that's what she was set out to do, she pretty much went out and did it. So congrats. Um, let's see. Premier League's heating up. I know that Liverpool Man City match, that was pretty wild. Saw those two teams duel it out. Man, Liverpool is just super deep up top right now. They picked up this guy Luis Diaz, and he has been just on a tear since he's came over. They still got Diogo Jota. They got Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane, who were both competing in the African Cup of Nations and both trying to get their teams to qualify for the World Cup. Congrats to Mane's Cameroon side. Fortunately, Egypt did not make it to the World Cup this upcoming winter. That's so weird to say. Usually hosted in the summertime, but it is in Qatar, middle of the fucking desert. Or I don't know, fucking crazy, crazy. I can't believe they had. Still can't believe they're gonna do that shit. But yeah, congrats Cameroon. They made it. Let's see. Senegal. Cameroon did make it, but Senegal. Shout out to Senegal. Not just from there. They got the same color flags. I apologize. I do apologize. did you guys know they had the same color flags? I don't know. Put it on you guys now. Saw Premier League's going to introduce 5 substitutions for next season. I think that's a good move. A lot of those dudes get so much wear and tear, and you only give them 3 subs. It's like you limited the opportunities. That was one of the rule changes I did like that happened during the pandemic in the world of football. Um, yeah, all the other major leagues in Europe had adopted 5 subs, and I think they had adopted in the Champions League. So the English managers this year and last year only kept 3 because They're traditionalists. I guess they're hard asses. Like, you better fucking run forever. Um, but yeah, so is what it is. We'll see what happens. Right now, Man City is still leading by 1. I want to say they're in the, what is it, semifinal now in the Champions League. So it's getting to the nitty gritty. Liverpool's up right now. They got the 3-1 victory over who was it? Porto? Benfica? No. Jesus. Jesus Christ. Uh, uh, uh. All right. Come on, internet. Do your thing. Yeah, Benfica. Benfica. I was like one of those Portuguese sides. Yeah, because Diaz was on Porto. I'm figuring it out. Alrighty. Let's see what else could happen. We got some rule changes in baseball. Opening day just happened a couple days ago. Some exciting shit already. Apparently, Homer Derby could decide the All Star Game winner if it goes to extras. That's apparently on the table. Uh, both the MLB and the Players Association agreed to expanded rosters, 28 up from 26 through May 1st. There's a new Otani rule that if a pitcher is hitting, he moves to the DH spot after being removed as a pitcher, so he gets to stay in the game. So he doesn't have to like do a double switch and then move him to the outfield or something like that. The return of the ghost runner and extras and the 9-inning doubleheaders is coming back. So the last couple seasons, the doubleheaders were only 7 innings to try to get through the games a little quicker. Yeah, the ghost runner rule is like kind of controversial, but I guess allows for the runs to happen a lot more often in extra innings. So kind of like get in and get out and get done with it. So that's kind of cool. Oh, there was this new device that pitchers and catchers are going to be able to use that will relay signals. It'll send like a message to like a headset that apparently the pitcher and 3 other position players can wear, so they can like adjust themselves based on what pitch is called. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that gets implemented. I'm sure they're gonna. It's supposed to. The idea is to keep it um, the sign stealing to try to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. Similar to the way that in the NFL they just have like the communication in the headset from the coaches instead of having to like relay it via signals or yell it out from the sideline, or it can get intercepted, or people can pull up the Patriots and just like to start videotaping people, which apparently it was done a lot in the NFL back in the day. There was just a lot of spying and sneaking going on. So who the fuck knows? There are some stories back in the day of some teams in the 90s doing that shit, and even prior to that. But yeah, who the fuck knows? So yeah, and apparently they're trying to speed up the game a little bit too, which is not a bad thing for baseball. Not a bad thing. Um, what else happening? Other MLB news. Sad news. Apparently the A's are looking like they're moving to Vegas. It's looking more and more likely. I know that there was like a proposed site in Oakland that has been now. I think litigation got brought against it. I think it's now been fighting in the courts because there was people suing against like the environmental impact that the ballpark would have in the region. So of course, the team's gonna use that roadblock as like an excuse to just be like, all right, fuck it, we're just out of here. Vegas wants to hook us up. We're just gonna go to Vegas. So fuck it. So I think that's what's gonna happen. The president came out and said that there's a real chance that they could move. So I mean, the last team in Oakland's gonna move to Vegas. So that's kind of sad. That part kind of sucks. Growing up, there was 3 teams in Oakland, and now there's only one. Might not be one any longer. So that sucks. That sucks, man. Not being able to get a new ballpark. That sucks. Let's see what else happening. MLB umpires will use microphones to announce replay review decisions. similar to the way the NFL and the NBA has started to adopt it. So I like the way the NBA has been doing it. On the replays, they've will speak into the camera that they have there on the scores table and just like explain it. So similar to the way that in the NFL ref, they kind of look into the camera's direction and get the signal across. But yeah, so they'll be on the mic a little bit. Let's see here. Unvaxxed MLB players will be not allowed to play games in Toronto. But oddly enough, it doesn't affect the current Blue Jays. But it could potentially impact who they add to the team via like free agents or trades or whatnot. So let's see here. Originally, unvaccinated Yankees and Mets players were not going to be allowed to play at home, but that got changed on March the 24th. The mayor, Eric Adams, decided finally to make the change because, like, for the longest, he was adamant about not giving any exceptions to professional athletes or anybody else for not being vaccinated and trying to be in the workforce, which was weird too because Kyrie like attended a couple home games just in street clothes anyway, so it was just like super weird. But yeah, so Kyrie was given the green light to play. So the last few weeks he's been playing home games. He can play at home for the rest of the year. But if they ever play Toronto in the playoffs, that would pose an interesting matchup. Toronto did not draw them or will not draw them in the first round. So it would take a couple upsets for that matchup to happen. But Toronto is playing the 76ers. They are playing the 76ers. And Matisse Thybulle is not fully vaccinated. So he will not be able to enter and play in Canada. So that's going to have a big impact actually in that matchup. We'll see. We'll see if the Sixers can put it together. I know they got a couple superstars, but Harden hasn't been holding up his end of the bargain recently. So Embiid's been playing at MVP level all season. So hopefully he can get his team through a few rounds. And because that dude is just fucking fun to watch, man. That dude is a freaking beast of a player. But yeah, we were talking about baseball. Let's see. Let's rip through some of these moves. We got a lot of moves and some football moves. And then we'll wrap it up with a little NBA talk. And then that's about it. So let's see if we can get this done rapid fire. We're a little over an hour now into this podcast. Let's see here. Bang. Yankees trade Gary Sanchez, Gio Urshela to the Twins for Josh Donaldson, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who was traded to the Twins the day prior from the Rangers. So yeah, a lot of moves from Minnesota. They also land Carlos Correa on a 3-year deal for $105.3 million. So yeah, they making some moves out there. They also got Chris Archer on a 1-year deal, $3.5 million. Could earn up to $6 in incentives. They also pick up Chris Paddock and Emilio Pagan and a player to be named later for Taylor Rogers, Brent Rooker, and $6.6 million. So picking up another starting pitcher. That is 2 starting pitchers and a couple bats. So Twins overhauling their roster. I know they also picked up Sonny Gray earlier in their offseason, so we'll see what they could do there in that Central. Let's see. Yankees and Anthony Rizzo agreed to a 2-year, $32 million deal. Aaron Judge ended up turning down a 7-year, $213.5 million extension from the Yankees. They were not able to reach an agreement, and it looks like he will more than likely become a free agent at the end of the season, which will be pretty interesting to see how much money he will get on that open market. Another guy from the 209 I want to see get paid, so get your money, dude. Get your money. Yankees traded Luke Vogt to the Padres. The Red Sox and Trevor Story agreed to a 6-year, $140 million deal. But it was announced that he'll move from shortstop to second base, so we'll see how that goes. There was some concern with him because apparently his splits between how he played in Denver in the them Rockies versus how he played on the road was a very drastic. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Sox. The Sox. The Giants added Carlos Rodon, who's formerly of the White Sox, on a 2-year, $44 million deal. He just had his debut yesterday, day before, recently, and had 12 strikeouts, but unfortunately took an L. I think his team lost 2-1, I believe, 1-0, somewhere around there. Yeah, that part sucks. So I think he'll be good. I think Rodon will be good for them. Carlos Martinez agreed to deal with the Giants. If he's on the big league roster, it's worth up to $2.5 million. So yeah, another potential pitcher there that could be helpful. They also added left-handed pitcher Matt Boyd on a 1-year, $5.2 million deal. He's expected to be ready by June after he had surgery to repair a torn flexor tendon in his left arm last September. So yeah, that's a pretty long recovery process. So um, speedy recovery there, Mr. Boyd. Oh yeah, they Giants also picked up Jock Peterson on a 1-year, $6 million deal. Formerly of the Doyers, most recently at of the Braves, helped them win that title last season. Hopefully, they can do the same. So with Jock coming in, that was a response to their marquee man that they picked up at the trade deadline from the Cubs last season, Chris Bryant. He was a free agent. He decided to stay in the division. Will not be playing in San Francisco. Be playing at the aforementioned Colorado Rockies. So he's signed to them for a 7-year, $182 million deal. So yeah, man's got paid. So congrats to Chris Bryant. It's gonna suck not to be able to root for him. It's gonna be wearing purple, but get your money, dude. Get your money. Some other moves within the division in the West. Dodgers got Freddie Freeman on a 6-year, $162 million deal. That was huge. That was really big. He became expendable because some other moves that they made that we'll get into shortly. But the Dodgers, man, they make another big splash move on a free agent. It's just like every offseason they get a guy. It is they don't let enough be enough. Like they go and get it, bro. They put their money out there. They put that shit on the table, man. I like, and that's pretty commendable, but it's also very annoying being somebody who roots for the Giants, where it's like they're willing to spend, but like not all the time and 100% go all in. So they try to be a little bit more judicious with how they spend their money and try to keep some of their homegrown talent too. So it's like, you know, they've been willing to spend. They've been willing to go in. They got very criticized giving Barry Zito like $100 million contract way back in the day. That was, I mean, he got a couple rings, so I mean, can you be mad? Did he perform how we thought he was going to? Maybe not, but like, should I be counting other people's money? I don't know. Like, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Other moves. Let's see here. Yeah, Dodgers brought back Clayton Kershaw, also 1-year, $117 million deal. Let's see. The White Sox traded Craig Kimbrell to the Dodgers for, um, what's his name? Pollock, Austin Pollock, Jeff Pollock. Uh, wow, wow, brain farting like crazy. AJ Pollock, that's what it was. Alan Lorenz, AJ. All right, yeah, he was a solid player for them. But yeah, Craig Kimbrell, that's another big pickup, man, because they lost Kenley Jansen to the Braves. He signed there for a 1-year, $16 million contract. So another big closer goes to LA. Like I said, man, they really go after him. Like, who do we need to get? All right, let's go get the best option. Doesn't matter what the price is. So crazy. All right, other moves. Cardinals finalizing a 1-year deal with Albert Pujols for $2.5 million, which Yeah, man. Albert Pujols, he's looks like he's gonna retire as a Cardinal after this season. I think he's gonna get to 700 home runs, 600 home runs. There's like a big plateau that he's gonna hit this season. And how much? Albert Pujols career. Oh no, 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 no. That's not what I wanted. Oh, wrong. Yeah, 700. Apparently, he's 700. Yeah, there's a wild story that's been happening. It's been in the news. So Albert and his now ex-wife Deidre, um, apparently he left her right when he was diagnosed with cancer. She got diagnosed with cancer. They're divorcing after 22 years due to irreconcilable differences. So yeah, Albert said that like apparently this was in the process before, but the timing is real shit because she just had brain surgery and now she's getting divorced. So like yikes, not the best timing there. Um, but yeah, he gets to retire as a Cardinal, so at least the good people of St. Louis gets to root for him one more time. Oh man. So yeah, they got the DH now in the National League. So I mean, man's got a job. He's got a job to do. Hit homers, hit dingers, bro. Uh, your wife's health be damned. Apparently, I don't know. I don't know. It's wild shit. All right, more news. Jorge Soler and the Marlins. He agreed to a 3-year, $36 million deal. Nelson Cruz is on the Nationals now. 1 year, $15 million. Dude played everywhere. Phillies agreed to a 4-year, $79 million deal to Kyle Schwarber. He had a very, very good hot streak with the Cubbies last year, or no, Nationals. Then he got traded. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he's in Philly now. They also picked up Nick Castellanos, formerly of the Reds. Um, 5-year, $100 million deal. Dude can play. Pirates gave their third baseman Cabrine Hayes an 8-year, $70 million extension. Apparently, I think he got injured in his first day after signing that, so that was unfortunate for him. But get your money, bro. Um, that was like the biggest contract that the Pirates have ever given out. $70 million. That's a lot of money, but like in MLB standards, not the most. Consider some of these guys are getting like $200 million contracts recently, like the top guys. There've been a plethora of $100 million players now, I'd say, in the last like 10, 15 years. So I don't know. Especially because they're long extensions too in MLB. You can have guys that are signed to like 8, 10-year deals. 8, 9, 10, whatever. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, fire sale for the A's, man. The Mets got Chris Bassett for two prospects, TJ Ginn and Adam Oller. The Padres got Sean Manaea for some more prospects, um, who oddly enough was pulled after 7 innings of no-hit baseball on his debut on 2 days ago, Saturday, April the 9th. That shit was fucking crazy. Um, if he would have got 2 more innings, it would have been his second no of his career. But they decided to arrest him, take him out. They lost the no hitter, the combined no, but they won the game. So yeah, is what it is. Let's see. Matt Olson got traded to the Braves. That's the player that the Braves ended up acquiring, which made Freddie Freeman expendable, which is kind of ridiculous to say, considering that he was a lifelong member of that Atlanta Braves up until this season. So yeah, now he's on the Dodgers. So Matt Olson was a part of this 5-player trade. The A's got Christian Pash, outfielder, catcher Shea Langoliers, and pitchers Ryan Cusick and Joey Estes. So hopefully those guys can become household names and contribute to the A's in years to come. But if they move to Vegas, my amount of care and fucks given is very little. So, yeah. It's so crazy, man. Like, I don't think the fans of the Oakland A's are going to be able to see this team compete again and come through another rebuild because they will more than likely be up and moving before the time that they are able to produce some decent talent like they've had the last couple years. Because the team, as everyone knows, it just goes through cycles where they just build it up. They're able to get some smart, cheap veterans, a lot of young guys. They kind of mesh together, and then they got to blow it up and do it again, blow it up, rinse and repeat because they don't want to spend on payroll. So they get the cheaper veterans and the cheaper young guys. Guys a little before their prime, guys a little after their prime. So what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? Made the playoffs and everything, man. Crazy. Yeah. Immediately Olsen signed an 8-year, $168 million extension, which was the largest contract in team history. Which is wild considering the Braves gave it to somebody who's not on their roster prior to that season, considering they had a World Series hero, Freddie Freeman. Now, it's not just the fact that he was a dude who was drafted by the team and just remained a part of that organization for such a long time. It's the fact that he brought you World Series just last season, too. And you just decided to say thank you, but so much, so long. Farewell. Man, fucking wild. Wild shit. Um, Damn, man. So long for the A's, man. So long. So yeah, like I said, they just traded everybody. They traded Matt Chapman to the Blue Jays in a 5-player deal. They got infielder Kevin Smith, pitchers Gunnar Hoglund, Zach Lowe, Kirby Snead. We'll see what those guys become. They signed a couple guys that they've had on their roster before. Stephen Vogt. They re-signed Gent Lowry. Like those are the kind of moves that they're making, man. They're not making no splashy moves or nothing. But yeah, their team has been stripped down. But they've won a couple games the last couple of days. So, like, who the fuck knows, man? Who the fuck knows? Will they have Moxie and come together and run for the ages? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. They'll probably fall back to earth. But yeah, I guess for the city of Oakland, enjoy the team while you got them, because they're gonna be the last ones playing in the East Bay, man. Warriors moved to San Francisco. They're at the Chase Center. Raiders in Vegas. Now maybe the A's in Vegas too, man. See, like for me, I guess it feels different. Just I feel like less weird about still rooting for the Raiders, even though they're in Vegas. Versus, I don't know, the A's. Because, like, the A's have a history, too, because they've moved. They started in Philly. Then they moved to Kansas City. Then they moved to Oakland. All this hella before my time. But, yeah. But, like, the Raiders, at least, they had some movement, at least in recent memory. Oakland to LA to Oakland. Now to Vegas. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. Do I really care? Probably not. All right, let's keep it moving. Blue Jays trade Randall Grichuk to the Rockies for outfield Raimel Tapia and some prospect Adrian Pinto. White Sox signed Joe Kelly and Josh Harrison. Harrison formerly of the A's as well. Joe Kelly formerly of the Dodgers and the Red Sox. Yeah, he's got glasses. Yeah, fucking talking shit to the Astros, which is cool. Let's see. The Reds traded Sonny Gray to the Twins, as I mentioned, for pitching prospect Chase Petty. Twins trying to go all in this year. Rays trade Austin Meadows to the Tigers for Isaac Paredes and a pick. The Guardians, which is Cleveland's team now, and Jose Ramirez agreed to a 5-year, $124 million extension. So yeah, man's got paid. Guardians, it's gonna take a while. They just gotta call them the Cleveland G's. I think that's what they're gonna call them. That's a pretty dope shortening of a name, I guess. The G's. Word up to the G's out there. Zach Greinke returned to the Royals on a 1-year, $13 million deal. Dude's been pitching forever, man. He was such a phenom pitching in Kansas City when he first bursted onto the scene, winning Cy Youngs. Man, that dude had a live ass arm, and to his credit, he stuck around into the major leagues with the fastball that just keeps uh around 90. Right, that shit was like 97, 98 back in the day. That shit was a fucking missile coming at you. All right, let's see what else. Cubs agreed to a 5-year, $85 million deal with Seiya Suzuki, the largest for a Japanese position player. Plays mostly outfield, but was playing shortstop and third base in Japan. I think he got his first career home run the other day, so saw him in the highlights. Can't remember how he did, but yeah, apparently pretty well. Fernando Tatis, he has a fractured wrist and could miss 3 months after surgery. It was in a minor motorcycle accident in December, apparently. So that was some controversy when this was announced about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. There was some PED bans that came up. There was mostly free agents. There was one player, Brewers catcher Pedro Severino, who had an infertility drug apparently did lead to the PED ban. He said he took some medicine and they didn't know that it was tainted with some stuff. So who knows? Who knows if that's fucking accurate or whatever, if he's just saying some shit. Because there's a lot of people who get popped and they're just like, oh, I was taking this shit, I was taking that shit. It's like, nah, that's bullshit. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there was fucking accident. Peter Alonso of the Mets, he got into an accident in Tampa a couple weeks ago. Vehicle flipped over 3 times and he got T-boned at an intersection when a driver ran a red light. That is pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy, scary. Did I say crazy? Jesus Christ. All right. Should I even fucking keep going? Damn, there's so many more. There's so many more. So many more. I've already done an hour and a half. Do I want to keep going? Do I want to keep going? Yeah. Fuck it. Let's keep it. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to the NFL. A lot more off-season news. Let's see. Amazon secures Al Michaels for Thursday Night Football broadcast. Mark Tirico looks like he's going to take over for Sunday night play-by-play duties. So yeah, Mike Tirico's finally going to take the head seat there at NBC. He's been kind of angling for that for a few years since he's signed over to that network. But yeah, Al Michaels, he'll be reporting on Thursday Night Football, and apparently he's going to be going with Kirk Herbstreit, who's going to be doing the Thursday night NFL games, but also still doing the college game day stuff and their primetime game on ESPN. So a lot of work for him, man. A lot of work. It's gonna be busy in the falls, in the wintertime. Let's see. The biggest news though coming out was that Joe Buck is expected to follow Troy Aikman to sign with for Monday Night Football. That's happening on ESPN, so that's gonna be crazy. He's supposed to be signing for a 5-year deal between $60 to $75 million. So congrats to you there, Joe Buck. So Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will remain broadcast partners for this foreseeable future. So we'll see how that goes. I know Monday Night Football, they've been trying to search and find a broadcast partner for a ship for years that was going to work. So yeah, they've been tinkering with it, experimenting with some people, but I guess they got their big fish. They got their guarantee. They got Joe Buck. And he'd been with the Fox for forever, since pretty much he started doing national broadcasts for football. So 94 maybe. It's been a while. It's been there forever. New changes to some rule books. NFL adopts a playoff overtime rule, guaranteeing both teams a possession. This in light of the fact that the Buffalo Bills got eliminated without Josh Allen being able to touch the ball in overtime. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how that has effect moving forward. If it does lead to some better action, kind of fucking craziness. That craziness of that Kansas City game was so wild. That was so nutty. That was so nutty. But yeah, shout out to the Bills though. They got a new 3-year or a new 30-year deal for uh 1.4 billion dollars in stadium. Bills agreed to a 30-year deal for a new 1.4 billion dollar stadium in Buffalo, 850 million dollars in public funds. That's what the headline says. So, Bills got a new stadium. They're putting up some money for it. Looks like a little more than half. It's going to be publicly funded, which not too much of a surprise, but a lot of people don't fucking vibe with. This is the main reason why the city of Oakland's going to lose all their teams, because they were not about putting up that much money of public taxpayer money down for like a NFL franchise, MLB franchise that doesn't. I don't know. I guess they didn't see as much of a benefit, but city of Buffalo, man, they fuck with the Bills hard. They ride. Bills Mafia rides hard. So they're getting that new stadium out there. So congrats to y'all. A lot of NFL teams getting new digs, man. It's crazy. All right. Got some retirement news. Andrew Withward retires for the Rams. After 16 seasons, he was the first left tackle to start over the age of 40. That was pretty incredible. He was pretty stout all the way up to the end. He did win a Super Bowl and the Walter Payton Man of the Year award last season. He won that award and got to wear that patch for one game, which they won. So yeah, they got that Super Bowl victory last season. Tom Brady unretires. That's been the biggest news in the last month. The world returned the Bucks for a 23rd season. Bucks looks like they're reloading. They got Chris Godwin. He got a new 3-year, $60 million deal with 40 guaranteed. They re-signed Leonard Fournette to a 3-year, $21 million deal. So a couple of their big offensive options are back for another year. Their center Ryan Jensen had a 3-year, $39 billion contract. They re-signed their cornerback Carlton Davis to 3-year, $45 million deals. And looks like Logan Ryan's going to head to the Bucks after he got released from the Giants. So yeah, it looks like they've retooled quite a bit there. The biggest change though is going to be to the head coaching position, as Todd Bowles will be stepping in now. Bruce Arians has decided to step down. He'll be retiring from coaching and moving into a advisory role, I guess, in the front office. So yeah, Todd Bowles is now the new head coach there of the Tampa Bay Bucks. Apparently, there was some reported friction between Tom Brady and Bruce Arians. I don't know how much of that is true, how much of that is just conjecture or just reporting. But yeah, their Bucks look like they're going to be decent again. Let's see, the Raiders. My Raiders, dude, Devontae Adams traded from the Packers, bro. That shit was fucking wild. I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Oh my god. Holy shit, man. So they got him for a first and a second rounder for this year. They signed him to a 5-year, $141 million deal, which was 28.25 per year, which at the time was the highest for a wide receiver. We'll put a pin in that. We'll get back to that. Max Crosby, he earned himself a 4-year, $95 million extension with $53 million guaranteed. Congrats to you, Max. Well deserved. You had a Pro Bowl season last year, and very productive last few seasons. So keep getting after that quarterback, man. Keep doing it, bro. Raiders were able to sign Chandler Jones to a reported 3-year, $52.5 million deal. So Raiders able to reload with a couple huge free agent offseason additions. So I'm excited about where this team is looking towards next season. How they're shaping up, man. So hopefully they can just round out the team with a couple more draft picks and just keep it moving, man. Chandler Jones, that man is a beast. That dude is a fucking phenom. He's gonna be a huge impact for them on the defensive line. As they're going, I think they're going to a 3-4. They might be going to a 3-4. So yeah, the signing of Chandler Jones made their other defensive end, Yannick Ngakoue, a little bit expendable. So they decided, unfortunately, to move on from him. I was a fan of Yannick this last season, so wish him all the luck. He got traded to the Indianapolis Colts for a cornerback Rock Yassin. So, yeah, I'll add a little bit of rotation player to the secondary. Raiders signed expats running back Brandon Bolden and the fullback Jacob Johnson. So, a couple people that Josh McDaniels is familiar with. They also added Amir Abdullah in the backfield. They signed former Titans linebacker Jayon Brown and safety Duron Harmon. They've also released Carl Nassib, saving $8 million. So, yeah, thank you, Carl Nassib, for your service on the team. First openly gay athlete in NFL history. So, I wish you nothing but the best. And, yeah, you had some good moments there, made some good pressures last season, especially early on in the year. So, best of luck to you in the rest of your career, man. Moving on, let's see here. Eagles released Fletcher Cox after 10 seasons, could return on a 1 year, $14 million deal. Don't know what the latest on that is. That dude's a fucking beast. Oh, and healthy. Cowboys gave DeMarcus Lawrence a new 3 year contract worth $40 million. Let's see. The Raiders released Nick Kwiatkowski, saved $7 million this year. Why is that one there? Anyway. All right. Cowboys and Michael Gallup agreed to a 5 year, $62.5 million deal. A lot of money for a wide receiver on the Cowboys, which meant they had to let somebody go. That person was Amari Cooper, who got traded to the Browns for a six, a lot. Cooper and a six for a fifth and a six. They were going to release him if they didn't have a trade. So the Browns are going to take all $20 million of his salary this season. So Amari's on the move once again from the Raiders over to Dallas and is now going to Cleveland. So with Amari Cooper coming in, that means Jarvis Landry's coming out. So Browns ended up releasing him. He was due to make $14.3 million in salary. Still hasn't been signed and apparently fired his agent over this whole ordeal. So, yeah, Jarvis is, I guess, going through it right now. Cleveland Browns are kind of going through it. They have decided to make some big changes, man, at the quarterback position. They've decided to move on from Baker Mayfield as their starter and pick up Deshaun Watson. He's accepted a trade to the Browns with the 6th-round pick for 3 first-rounders, 1, 2, 3 first-rounders, 1 third-rounder, 2 fourth-round picks. And he gets a fully guaranteed 5-year, $230 million deal. That is a huge commitment to a guy that has a lot of crazy allegations going on off the field. As you're probably well aware, Deshaun Watson had a lot of apparently alleged inappropriate contact with some masseuse or some with multiple, I think 22 different women. It's a lot. It's a big number. But yeah, I know he was recently what was it? This I just saw it. He was recently not indicted over the sexual assault allegations in the legal matter. There are apparently civil cases that are still going on and will continue. But yeah, Cleveland decided that's enough for them. So they decided to go ahead and make that trade. They've gotten a lot of backlash for it. But that also did is that caused a rift with Baker Mayfield, and he is now asked for a trade. The team has decided not to grant him that, at least at the moment. So we'll see if he, at some point, gets a market and has a team that is willing to try to make a move for him. He was not playing healthy for most of last season and was very much limited due to that shoulder injury that he suffered. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know how well he's gonna do. Or seems like Cleveland's moving on from another quarterback. It's that carousel keeps on turning. But on the football field, I do gotta say, if Deshaun Watson is able to come back, he's gonna be pretty good for them, or has a very much the potential to be so. Because I mean, they're playing a division with Lamar Jackson, who's going through some contract disputes right now, and Joe Burrow for the near future. So they're gonna have to go up against those two teams. We'll see what Pittsburgh does post Ben Roethlisberger. I know Mitch Trubisky's probably not the long-term answer there, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, but yeah, speaking of Trubisky, he signed a 2-year contract there to join Pittsburgh. Um, they also signed Miles Jack to a 2-year deal with reported $16 million. Um, let's see, Vikings signed Kirk Cousins to a 1-year extension worth reportedly $35 million. That'll go past this season. So I guess he's not a lame duck quarterback, just playing out this contract. Patrick Peterson returned to the Vikings for $4 million in base salary. Let's see. Also in that division, Packers released a Darius Smith after 3 seasons. He had an agreement to rejoin Baltimore, but he backed out a day later and was reported 3-year, $35 to $50 million. So then eventually the Vikings signed him to a 3-year deal worth around $42 million. Let's see. Preston Smith inks a reported 4-year, $52.5 million deal with the Packers. So yeah, they signed him. They signed Rodgers, but they let Devontae go. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. Let's see. Panthers got DJ Moore a new contract, 4-year extension. 4-year contract for $73 million. Not too bad. Very productive player, DJ Moore, but yeah, gotta find a better quarterback for him. The Atlanta Falcons trade Matt Ryan to the Colts for a 3rd-round pick. That was a big move. So I know the Colts fans were getting pretty nervous that a lot of the other quarterbacks were starting to change teams, but looked like they were kind of like uh, left on the outside a little bit there. But Matt Ryan's a good pickup for them, I think. I think he's gonna be a solid player. They need somebody to just be like a steady presence and not have too many ups and downs, because Carson Wentz was like the epitome of ups and downs, man. There'd be plays where he's just like, oh my God, this guy's a phenom. And then there's other times where he's just like, what the hell is he doing out there? This guy's doesn't know what's going on. All right, more quarterbacks moving around. Marcus Mariota signed a 2-year, $18.75 million deal to go start in Atlanta now that Ryan has left the building. Falcons also brought back Cordero Patterson on a 2-year, $10.5 million deal. Now, I'm going to call regression to the mean. I don't think he's going to have 13 touchdowns that he had last season. He legit won on some people fantasy teams, fantasy seasons based off his play. So I don't think he'll do it again, but who the fuck knows? That hybrid wide receiver running back role, he was just scoring all over the place, man, making plays. Causing havoc on fantasy. Falcons signed quarterback Casey Hayward, formerly of the Raiders, to a 2-year, $11 million deal. The Jameis Winston going back to the Saints on a 2-year, $28 million deal. Saints also signed Andy Dalton to a 1-year deal up to $6 million, $3 million guaranteed. So it looks like they've kind of got a stopgap solution for the moment. I know New Orleans is in kind of shitty situation with their salary cap, so they kind of have to eat it for the next few years. I mean, they got a new coach. Dennis Allen's in there now too. It's his problem now. It's not Sean Payton's problem anymore. So yeah, we'll see how they do on that rebuild. There was a deal between them and the Eagles. They swapped multiple first rounders. They had an 8-pick trade. Saints get the 16th and the 19th overall, so they get 2 overall, 2 picks in the first this year. They get a 6th as well. But the Eagles, they'll get the 18th overall pick. They get a 3rd, a 7th, a 1st in 2023, and a 2nd in 2024. So, I mean, I feel like the Eagles get a lot back. But hey, I think the idea is the Saints might try to move up to try to get a quarterback. So we'll see what happens in this draft coming up. Other Saints news: the now former Saint Malcolm Jenkins decided to retire, and I think he'll pursue some more activism off the field, because I know that's what something he was very passionate about during his time in the league. 3-time Pro Bowl safety, very smart player, very fun to watch, but now currently retired. So enjoy retirement, man. Seahawks released Carlos Dunlap. Rams signed Allen Robinson to a 3-year deal, reported $46.5 million, which is a pretty big pickup there, I'd say, for the Rams. They've still got Cooper Kupp in the fold. So Allen Robinson, he was a big play wide receiver a few seasons ago for Chicago. So let's see if he can replicate some of that. So yeah, it looks like the Rams, they've decided to move on from Robert Woods since they picked up Robinson. So he got traded to the Titans for a 2023 6th-round pick. So Robert Woods, a.k.a. Bobby Trees, is now back on the move. Did suffer, I want to say, an ACL tear earlier in the year. So we'll see if he comes back in time to start the season down in Tennessee. But yeah, Titans, another offseason, them trying to make a move with their wide receiver crew. They try to get Julio. That didn't necessarily work last season. They ended up releasing him, actually. I think that's in my notes later. But see how the Titans do, man. They've kind of had some disappointing ends to the season, the last couple seasons. So we'll see. After they made that run and played Kansas City in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago. So we'll see what happens. Matt Stafford got his contract extension, since we're talking about the Rams. 4-year, $160 million. That's what a Super Bowl ring will get you, man. They'll get you some money, man. Let's see. Bobby Wagner, that was a big pickup that they got. Bobby Wagner going to the LA Rams for a 5-year deal worth about $50 million. Max value is about $65 million. He hit some incentives, so huge pickup there. We'll see how effective he can be deep into that contract, but I think he's still one hell of a linebacker. I mean, he's played for a linebacker. He's played a while. He's played like a decade in the NFL, and that's a long time of knocking people around, laying the blow, hitting fools. So you'll be able to shore up a little bit of that middle of the defense for the Rams. That's going to be tough. Let's see. Sticking in their division, Arizona Cardinals, they re-signed James Conner to a 3-year, $21 million deal. And then these are the deals that I want to talk about. The Miami Dolphins decided to really go for it, man, in kind of a weird way. The biggest deal they make, they picked up Tyreek Hill from the Kansas City Chiefs, man. They traded 5 picks, okay? A first, a second, 2 fourth rounders, 2 fourths, a sixth. Immediately Tyreek signs a 4-year, $120 million contract extension. Now, the domino effect of Devontae getting his money from Vegas is the reason why Tyreek wanted more money. Because his contract was being superseded by Devontae. So, Kansas City prior was working on an extension, and as soon as they realized that Devontae reset the market, they were like, oh shit. Well, if he's not going to take this deal that we're offering him, then we're not going to be able to afford him. So we got to look for a trade partner. So they did so, and they had apparently a deal in place with the Jets and with Miami. And they asked Tyreek, which one do you want to go to? And he decided to go to Miami. So they got that package. So might have been the right move in the long term, but right now that team is weaker. So hell fucking yeah. Devontae Adams bringing big playability to Vegas, but not only that, making the Chiefs a weaker team at the least in the moment. We'll see years from now how the trades pan out. But right now, Mahomes has lost a key weapon. So I think that's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. for teams being able to game plan against them, man. So hopefully the Kansas City can take another notch down a little bit, and the Raiders can elevate, try to get to that number one spot, win a division, man. And nobody else has been able to touch that division for the last few seasons. So it's been annoying. It's been very annoying. Yeah, they made some other moves though. They got Chase Edmonds though. He got a 2-year deal, $12.6 million, formerly of the Arizona Cardinals. Raheem Mostert, he's on a 1-year, $3.125 million deal. So we'll see if he can stay healthy and use that speed that he has. Big signing though. They got ex Saints left tackle Tariq Armstead. They signed him to a 5-year, $87.5 million deal, and he's a hell of a big body, man. So he was really good protecting Drew Brees those last couple seasons. He was there. They also re-signed Emmanuel Ogba to a 4-year, $65 million deal. So the big defensive end will stick around there in Miami. Sticking in the division, the Jets signing ex-Seattle and San Francisco quarterback DJ Reed to a 3-year, $33 million contract. Let's see here. And the Patriots have got Devontae Parker and a 2022 fifth rounder from the Dolphins for a 2022 third rounder. So we'll see what the Patriots can do. Another former Miami Dolphin wide receiver. Saw what they did with Wes Welker. See what happens this time. Devontae, definitely different style wide receiver. More of a bigger guy on the outside versus a guy who's going to run a lot of short crossing routes and shit like that over the middle. So yeah, shout out to them. Let's see. Malcolm Butler returning to the Patriots on a 2-year deal worth up to $9 million after he retired during last year's preseason. He was playing in Tennessee at the time, so called it quits, but he decided, I got a little bit something left. So yeah, his name synonymous with that damn interception in the Super Bowl. But back on the Patriots. All right. Sticking in that division, the Buffalo Bills make a huge move, able to land Von Miller on a 6-year, $120 million deal. Trying to shore up that defense, make sure there's not as many crazy shootouts as what happened last season in Kansas City, man. Bills are trying to go for it. They re-signed Stephon Diggs to a 4-year extension worth up to $104 million with 70 guaranteed. So, Stephon, congrats. You earned it. Let's see. Ravens safety Marcus Williams agrees to a 5-year, $70 million deal. Spent his first 5 seasons in New Orleans. Let's see. Calais Campbell returns to the Ravens on a 2-year, $12.5 million base salary, which can get up to 16 and a half. The Bengals sign ex-Cowboy Lyle Collins to a 3-year deal with around 30 mil. Justin Reed signs with the Chiefs for 3 years, 31.5. Juju signs also to Kansas City, 1 year, 10.75. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 3 years, $30 million to go to Kansas City. Ronald Jones signs for a 1-year, $5 million contract also. So, yeah, there you go. There's some moves from Kansas City. I'm not as scared of the team when they just got Juju and Marquez Valdez-Scantling versus Tyreek Hill. I'll just tell you that. Not the worst signing in the world. I think they're still decent players, but like, they're no Tyreek Hill. They're not gonna blow the lid off the defense, man. There's only a couple things that guy could do, man. And Mahomes was one of the few quarterbacks that I think could unleash it to its full potential. I think we saw that shit the last couple of years. There was a couple plays where this dude is just so burning everybody, fucking intense. Let's see. Oh yeah, Randy Gregory. He had a deal go back to the Cowboys, but he backed out and joined the Broncos on a 5-year, $70 million deal. Apparently, he had some terms that were similar, but there was some weird stipulations in the contract, and they were just like, no, let's go to Denver. So that sucks. as another guy is going to come after Derek Carr. So here we go. Here we go. Gotta protect that blind side, man. Protect the edges. Let's see. A few more. Jags add Brandon Scherf, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, and Zay Jones. We'll see what they do for them. Brandon Cooks inks a 2-year extension with Houston Texans. Congrats. Another 209 athlete getting some money. As I mentioned earlier, Julio Jones has got released after 1 year in Tennessee. They will save $11.5 million this year with the release there. Few news and notes away from the field. Ex-Cardinals coach Steve Wilks and former Titans defensive coordinator Ray Horton joined the lawsuit that Will Flores has filed over racist hiring practices. So looks like it's going to be like, I guess it's like a class action suit. So we'll see what Steve Wilks has to say, because it looks like he was given kind of like an impossible situation. They hired him and fired him within a season. So I mean, it wasn't necessarily like the longest rope. And apparently, Ray Horton, the Titans defensive coordinator, when he was kind of used a little bit of as a pawn, as somebody who was um, a minority candidate who was never actually really up and considered for the role. He was just kind of interviewing just to kind of like appease the Rooney Rule. So there's people who are opponents of the rule who have been critical of it for that reason, because it's like, hey, like, why the hell are you just going to give a sham interview just to say you check this box versus actually considering a minority head coaching candidate legitimately for the position. So um, yeah, there might be some smoke there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that lawsuit. Um, let's see here. Colin Kaepernick getting himself back into the news. He was shown throwing to some draft eligible wide receivers during the halftime of the Michigan spring game, because he's been trying to get back into the NFL once again. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. He got on ESPN and he got some highlights, and he got a hug from his old boss, his old coach Jim Harbaugh. So yeah, like, coach, the boss isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. See what happens with him. Some sad news I got to report on. This just happened yesterday. Duane Haskins unfortunately passed away. Uh, Former quarterback at Ohio State. Got drafted by Washington. Had a few seasons there. Had some ups and downs. And got released and was a part of the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback room by the end of the season. So very sad situation. Apparently, he was trying to cross a freeway in down in Florida, across the highway on the morning of April the 9th. So RIP to Dwayne Haskins. Is very sad to report on the death of somebody who was only 24 years old. That was, regardless of what you think of how he played it on the field, that's the loss of life is never something that like should be taken lightly. So yeah, it's pretty wild stuff. Pretty crazy headline reading that one the other day. Like, goddamn. All right, couple NBA news. So NBA season, if they're finally wrapped up, there's no way I could transition between that. I'm sorry, but NBA season finally wrapping up. Man, they got the play-in tournament tomorrow, so I'll be home watching some of that shit, getting all that action going. But a couple things happened before the end of the season. I got Greg Popovich passed Don Nelson as the NBA's all-time winningest coach. That happened a few weeks back. LeBron passes Karl Malone for second on the NBA's all-time scoring list. Very, very impressive move there. Um, oh yeah, we mentioned the situation with the Nets, letting Kyrie go to the locker room on March the 13th. They fined him $50K for letting him into the locker room, but he was allowed to be a spectator in the stands, so this fucking rules didn't make sense. So now this isn't a thing. So Kyrie's just gonna play. He's just gonna play. That's it, and that's it. Let's see. Couple big, big, big performances in the last month of the year. Uh, Karl Anthony Towns had 60 points versus the Spurs. 60 on March 14th. Kyrie dropped 41 in the first half and 60 total versus the Magic the next day on the 15th. DeMar DeRozan dropped 50 versus the Clippers on March the 31st and led the team to a comeback win in overtime. Um, Speaking of the Clippers, Paul George ended up returning. He's finally back. He had that elbow issue, but March 29th, he returned against Utah. First game due to the torn UCL in his right elbow. So, yeah, he's back and kicking. Chris Paul also returned March 24th. He had was gone for 5 weeks. Suns still rolling, clinched the top spot. Let's see. There was a dust up that happened on the Heat bench on the March the 23rd, a few weeks ago. Jimmy Butler got into a huge argument with Eric Spoelstra, and Donis Haslem was a part of it. It was craziness. It was craziness. Some dudes were just like throw their hands in the air and just fucking let shit be. Other dudes were walking around talking shit, and other people were just like looking awkwardly, like what is going on here? So, yeah, apparently everything's passed though because Miami's gone on to play pretty well, and they're now the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. They're going into the playoffs, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the team performs, but apparently it's well known that Jimmy Butler acts an asshole, and that's just who he is. So they've made it work for them. Bam Adebayo talk about it a little bit. He's just like, yeah, man. Sometimes you just need to get some shit off your chest, and then move forward from it. But he's just like, man, we're all assholes. Like everybody on this team's an asshole to a certain degree. So it's crazy. Um, let's see. NBA fined Yusuf Nurkic 40,000 for confronting a fan throwing the phone last on Sunday, March the 20th. Fan allegedly talked shit about his mom and his grandma, who I don't think the fan knew. His grandma passed away due to COVID in 2020, which we've talked about prior. So yeah, I think the guy's got good reason to be upset. Should he have been on the property of another man? I don't know, but the guy was recording, so it's like I can understand lack of etiquette there. But let's see what else happened. Ben Simmons files a grievance over $20 million that was withheld by the 76ers due to him holding out. That shit was wild. Um, Ended up not playing the rest of the regular season at all. So there is apparently a chance that he might be able to play in the playoffs if they make it past the playing game. So into next week. Do I think he's going to? I wouldn't count on it. If he does come back, would be another body. But how many minutes can you expect to play him? 15, 20 at the most. The man's isn't in basketball shape and all that. You don't know where his head's at. You don't know how he's going to fit in with the team. So very interesting move for Steve Nash and that franchise. See what they're gonna do dealing with that. Let's see. Couple basketball news away from the court. Congratulations to Manu Ginobili, Tim Hardaway, Swin Cash, Bob Huggins, and George Karl for being elected to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame for the class of 2022. Manu definitely deserves it. The best Latino player of all time. I will say that definitively. The man won championships in San Antonio, also won a gold medal with Argentina down in Athens in 2004. Knocked off Team USA. A very impressive team there. Yeah, man. His accolades speak for themselves. Was his former sixth man of the year. Hell of a crafty player. Um, Super shifty, and it was very fun to watch. Annoying to watch at times due to the fact that he played in San Antonio, and I never rooted for that team, so it's just like, all right. But yeah, I think well deserved. Let's see. The Kobe Bryant estate and Nike have reached an agreement to resume um, manufacturing the shoes They will continue their partnership and they will build a youth basketball center. They had not renewed the contract for the past 11 months prior, so a lot of people were tripping out on how to get access to Kobe's. So it is one of the favorite shoes from NBA players to wear. The player editions, there's a ton of them, but yeah, that relationship will be able to continue there. Let's take a look at this NBA seeding shit, man, because this is. I'll talk about this and then we'll just close this out because I'm. Well, also got to say that Frank Vogel has been reportedly been kicked out of the Lakers, kicked off the team, fired. I don't know why am I talking in these ways, talking in tongues. It is fucking late, folks. But yeah, that has been the move. That has been the nearest move. We'll see what happens with Russell Westbrook if he ends up getting his ass kicked out of town too. If LeBron would have had it his way, I'm pretty sure he would have been gone already. So yeah, that whole collapse by the Lakers was pretty wild. I can't believe that whole shit kind of went down the way it did. It was kind of crazy, kind of fucking wild. Um, let's see here. Boom, 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 NBA. Russ says he was never given a fair chance his first season. I don't know. Apparently, the Nick Nurse is going to be one of the people. Doc Rivers apparently has been rumored too. That some of the coaches that the Lakers are going to try to hire. Looks like Alvin Gentry's available. The Kings decided not to bring him back. He was the interim coach for the rest of the year after they let Luke Walton go like a month or two into the year. Oh, now I'm getting tired. Let's talk about this playing tournament thing. We got the Cavs and the Nets playing tomorrow. We got the Clippers and Timberwolves. So the winner of those two matchups will make the first round. The loser will play next game. Hold on. Yeah. 7th and 8th seeds. Hold on. No, hold on. Nets hosting the Cavs. Clippers hosting the Timberwolves. Hornets will host the Hawks. No. Hawks will host the Hornets. Pelicans host the Spurs. And then whoever wins between the Hornets and Hawks will play the loser of the Cavs Nets. That'll be your 8th seed. The loser of Clippers Timberwolves will play the winner of the Spurs Pelicans, and that'll be your 8th seed in the East. But yeah, besides that, the East, we got Miami's the number 1 seed. Looks like they'll probably avoid Brooklyn. It'll probably be Cleveland and or maybe Atlanta. I'll say probably Cleveland. I don't know. They're kind of falling. They've been falling. They've been tumbling through the rankings. They might fall out of it completely. But right now it looks like it's gonna be Brooklyn and Boston as the 2-7. That's gonna be a terrific matchup in the first round. You got two wing superstars, I'd say, on Boston. Tatum for sure. Jaylen Brown is like maybe a level below that, but very, very reliable, consistent player. And then on the other side, you got two of the most talented scorers that the league has seen in the last 20, 30 years. Ridiculous talent, level of talent. KD can get a shot wherever, whenever. And Kyrie is just a fucking wizard with the ball sometimes. So that's going to be very intriguing to see. The 3 seed Milwaukee Bucks going to play the Chicago Bulls. I think they got a good matchup there. Bulls have been kind of on the down slope. They started off very hot. DeMar DeRozan had his moments this season, but they haven't been able to keep it up. They've been injured. So they've been getting guys back slowly and surely, but they haven't been able to produce as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, Giannis and looking pretty nice, and they just got Brook Lopez back. So I mean, Bucks are no slouch either. Another team that's kind of a lot of question marks we talked about earlier, Philly. They're going to play the Toronto Raptors. No Thibault over in Canada, so that's going to be a whole interesting thing. So we'll see what happens there. But let's look in the West. Phoenix Suns, they're just rolling. It looks like they're going to be the favorites to make it out again out of the Western Conference. They're going to play the 8th seed, which is still TBD. Who do I think is going to make it? I think it will be Clippers or Pelicans. One of the two. I'll say they play the Pelicans. Clippers can be hit or miss. So yeah. That's my prediction. I don't know. Fucking predicting playing games. Phoenix is gonna sweep whoever they play. It doesn't really matter. Maybe 5 games. Memphis, they're the number 2 seed. And they're gonna play one of the 7 seeds. So I want to say the 7th seed is more than likely gonna be the Timberwolves. They've been playing pretty solid. We'll see with Anthony Edwards his first action in the playoffs. See how that looks like. But yeah, Ja and Memphis have been like on a fucking mission all year. They've been playing outstanding. So I definitely give them a big edge there. Now we got the Warriors versus the Nuggets. Warriors at their best can be very, very good, but can that translate into the playoffs with a lot of the rotating cast is kind of different. Clay's still coming in and out. He's had good performances here and there, but he hasn't been as solid. Obviously, he's coming off a ridiculous, devastating injury, so I can't be too critical of the guy. The Nuggets, they themselves don't have Michael Porter. They don't have Jamal Murray. Still have probably the MVP and Nikola Jokic. So that man has been fucking insane this season. He's been putting some all-time stats up. And yeah, if there's one guy that can kind of lead this team and all the way to victory, it might be him. But as a 6 seed, I don't know if he's got enough talent around him. This Warrior team, they kind of step it up in the playoffs too. They got new guys though. They got a lot of younger dudes. Jordan Poole, he's gonna have to be play very big for them. And this is gonna be his first go around, so we'll see. That'll be interesting to see what happens there. And then the final matchup, we got the Dallas Mavericks versus the Utah Jazz. It's gonna be a lot of Luka versus I think a lot of Donovan Mitchell. It be intriguing defensive big man presence. Obviously, Rudy Gobert, one of the best shot protectors, rim protectors, shot blockers in the league. But Powell's not bad either. He's an active big. A little more active on offensive end than he is defensively, but he's an active big, so that should be interesting how they work the pick and rolls and whatnot. But yeah, the Dallas team, they've been coming on. They got Dinwiddie playing well since he's came in. Brunson not doing bad as well. So we'll see. We'll see how the matchups look like once the games get going. So they'll be playing on the 16th and the 17th. That will be Saturday and Sunday. So that this weekend will be the official start of the playoffs. Tomorrow's a play-in tournament. Tomorrow and Thursday. So yeah, that's about it. That's it. I'm gonna call this one. We're gonna wrap it up. This has been episode 106 of the Puro Caballero Show. Please give me a follow at Puro Caballero. Follow the Puro Caballero Show on Instagram. You tuned in live on Twitch. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jesta, for tuning in. See you in the comments there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching on YouTube, for listening in on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you tune in. All right. That's pretty much it. Y'all been awesome. Thank you so much. And y'all have a good one. Later. Yee.